this is my Buddha aquarium, and it's going to be the tank that I'm clearing to make space for the new fish. It was a great little project. It's been running for nearly a year and it's run its course. I let it get overgrown because I knew I was going to be doing something with the tank really soon. So I'm taking out all the plants, draining all the water, and I'm actually saving all the substrate system for the next tank.
Guess what, it's that time again. So behind me, empty aquarium. I have been waiting for quite a while now to start this tank. I want to build this tank for my new fish I've got over there. They are the electric blue Acaras. I picked them up a few weeks ago. Let me show you. Just look at these beauties. Look at my little puppy dogs. Hello. They're so nice looking, aren't they? So size-wise, they've already definitely put on size since I first got them. There was a distinctive difference between some of them and the other. Now I can't tell. They're all just looking good, looking amazing. You are going to have the most awesome tank shortly, guys. But for the time being, they've been absolutely fine in here. They've loved this. They've got to know me. Look, they're not scared at all. They think I'm going to be feeding. They're literally like puppy dogs, aren't they? I love them. And not to forget about you guys either. Don't worry, these pistogramma pair. Oh, there's something cool coming up for them soon as well. So here is the tank. It is a really, really good size. There's my hand on it. It's really deep as well. Like, it's got really good dimensions and size. This is actually from Aquariums for Life. I got it a good year or two, a year and a half ago. Anyway, it's had multiple setups in. It looks absolutely great, really good quality, nice cabinets there. You can't really see, but that makes them good, doesn't it, if you don't notice it. So at some point I'm going to have to upgrade from this tank to a bigger one, but for now they're so small and growing. Whilst they're growing up and keeping there, later on I'll do a 4-foot tank for them, you know, and upgrade it as we go. I mean, currently there's no point putting them in a 4-foot tank. You'd never see them. Bless them. So yeah, we've got this 3-foot tank. I think it's plenty big enough to get us going. I do want to change the background now. I want to do a black one because we're going to be doing a sort of South American style tank. I want lots of wood, I want lots of swords, that kind of thing. To be honest, you're not going to see much of the background anyway because there'll be so many plants. But a good black background will give us that sort of river-like effect I'm going for. To apply the black background, I'm going to be painting it with some acrylic paint. Now you can get films and stuff for this, but I don't have any available, and I've got the paint and it's really easy to do. But before that, I've got to peel off the old background, which was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I tried putting some heat on it and that, but that actually made it worse, so I just had to use brute strength to try and rip it off. So I'm mixing black acrylic paint with a little bit of water just to make it a bit more like a runnier consistency. It will go further then on the tank. After one coat, you can see that it's not really covering it that well. I think in the end, I did about 4 coats, heating in between each coat. I just use a little heat gun. This stuff dries in seconds, and once it's dried, it's like a plastic, so it's completely safe for the tank, and it's quick drying as well, which is great. Well, I'm telling you now, no adult should be this excited about an empty aquarium. Now the first job is getting in a substrate system and also creating height in a tank, and for that I've recycled basically all the previous setup. So this is all just sand and gravel, which will be ideal and just look cosmetically pleasing. Underneath I've got these bags that have got loads of crushed lava rock in actually, and they're made of plastic, the bags are, and the zips are also made of plastic so they don't rust at all. Then underneath that I've got aqua soil in these bags. So we've got our sort of biological filtration, we've got our nutrient layer, and we've got our cosmetic layer for the top. So in first go the bags of crushed lava rock. Now you can just use gravel or anything like that. Crushed lava rock is the best, but you don't have to have it. I'm placing it at the back of the aquarium because I'm trying to create height in that area. And then on top of that is going bags of aqua soil. This is going to provide the nutrients to the plant's roots. And then it's just simply a case of capping the whole lot with a layer of gravel and sand. I've got like a fine gravel and a sand mixed together sort of thing. So at this point I'd say that the setup is complete. Now we can start having some fun and actually designing, creating things. I mean, I've got an idea in my head as always, but I'm not sure yet. at the end of the day, I don't know what pieces of hardscape I'm going to have, you know, how to create what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to go with the flow. I want something arching though, something bold. I mean, straight away, that's pretty striking, isn't it? I can create something sort of swooping upwards and over again on this side just to get it kind of loopy looking. It might change completely, I don't know, but I want something big and exciting like that. Well, that is certainly striking. So what I've tried to do is sort of loop that and make that piece look like one, and then I've got this one shooting straight up the back there, so without rocks and everything around it, it does look a bit strange, but I like how striking it is, and the fish are going to have cover if they choose it, or they'll be able to swim in and out of everything as well, because I'm going to make it sort of like 3D, so there's like taller plants at the front and at the back, so there's channels to go in and out of, and I think this area here I'll keep sort of like clear, more like a beach there. Why is there an iron there? I've only just noticed that. I haven't opened this door fully in a long time. I forgot there was an iron there. Don't need that. I find a really good method is placing the rocks where bits of wood touch the ground or the substrate. In my experience so far, this creates the most sort of natural look. Rather than just having wood in random places and rocks in random places, it like groups them together. It kind of makes it look like they've fallen that way in the flow of the river. It's also going to help anchor down the wood. Now my wood won't float anyway, but when you're cleaning, sometimes you can knock it and it falls all about. This should just lock it all in place. After you've laid down your main stones, just lay some smaller ones all around it. Again, it just gives it that natural grading and creates a lot more realism. So that's all of the main rocks in place for me, like the bigger stuff. I was going to put some big ones in each corner and sort of build up the level, but then I thought, well, why am I doing that? I just want to put a ton of plants back there anyway. That's going to be the safe haven for the fish, if you like. So on top of all these ones now, we can add detail stones to make it all sort of blend in a little bit more. I want to create a nice channel going up through there. I think that'll look pretty cool, and also sort of spinning off that way as well. And now we're grading down again, smaller stones added even more detail. Same as before, keep them tight into the other rocks on the wood, just grade it out as you go, getting finer and finer the further away from the rocks you are. Now I thought this looked really good, but I decided I wanted something lighter, like a lighter sand in that middle section, creating like a natural pathway up the middle of the tank. So I scraped out some of the darker sand, and then I just sprinkled over the top a lighter colour. Although this is very white, I'm not sure how it's going to look with the light on it, so we'll see later on. I might change it as I go. Right, absolutely perfect timing. The plants have arrived for the tank. Like I wasn't expecting them so soon, but they've come. Perfect. Right, the first thing I'm seeing is some really nice portions of Crispus Moss. This stuff is so nice. Oh, look how fluffy it looks. Oh, I just want to rub it, don't you? So I've got 3 portions of that, which is lovely. Get rid of that, it's a little protection layer. Oh, there we go. Straight away you can see we've got swords. Let me get them all out so we can have a better look. Okay, that is a lot of plants, so that's not all for this project, but most of it is. We've got
different forms of Echinodorus or Amazon swords here. We've got the smaller type. I've got a big mother plant here. If you look here, it comes in like a massive pot and it's a lot bigger, like as a main focal piece. And then here I've got the same plant but like the smaller versions, and they'll all sort of surround the mother plant. That should look so good as a focal point in the tank. I've got lots of Liliopsis brasiliensis to give it that sort of grassy look in certain areas as well. We've also got Eliocaris multividensis, or whatever that says. Let's actually try and say it. Multividensis. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. So yeah, I've got 5 of those, so that'll give us some sort of wispy detail as well. There's basically a ton of plants here. I'm definitely not going to need all of them for that tank, but who knows? I probably will just use them all. You know me. So this is the Amazon sword mother plant. It's absolutely huge. Now this is going to be going at the back of the tank, take up a large space, and it's already going to be at the top of the water. So there'll probably be some little shoots that will come off out of the water column as well, which will look really cool. With big plants and big root systems like this one, you can't really use your tweezers to plant them. You just need to dig a little pocket, put the roots into that pocket, and then squeeze the soil over the top again. Not squeezing it hard, obviously, just placing it, but making sure it's locked in place. Now these next swords are a little bit different. They grow these tall sort of shoots on them with the leaves right at the top. Apparently they can grow massively tall as well, so hopefully again they come out the top of the tank. I'm not going to trim these ones back, I'm just going to let them go wild. Shock horror there. Now I am going to town with the Amazon swords here. That's because I want to give this tank a proper sort of big leaf look. It also means it's not going to require like constant trimming either, and it's going to look massively vibrant right from the start. Now the Liliopsis brasiliensis is a small plant, it creeps as well, so it's going all in the foreground. Eventually, hopefully it takes over the whole lot. We've got a lawn of it everywhere. Right, that is looking so sweet. I think we've got a good section here of plants. We've got that nice negative space in the middle. I've left a gap at the back because that's where I want to put some other ones, but they're already submerged in water and they'll be all floppy. So I'm going to plant those once the water level's up, which we're going to do next actually. I'm going to fill up with water now and then I can plant the rest of the plants.
So it's actually now been over 24 hours since I filled up the tank first of all, and that's quite good because I've been looking at the tank as I've been doing other things, and it showed me something that I need to do. So as we look at the tank front on, I'm really liking the sort of shape and structure we've got. We'll fill in different areas with some more plants later on, but the fact that we can see that line at the back is kind of ruining the illusion of depth. So remember at the start I said I was going to put some rocks back there and decided against it. Well, I am going to do that, but I'm going to follow the line at the foreground and just leave a big gap at the back for more stem plants. And what that's then going to do is going to trick us into thinking that the scape just keeps going further and further. There's no end line, if you like. So we'll do that now. We'll put those big rocks in, not too big, but they'll create a border.
There we go, look, so we've just broken up those lines. You can't actually see the back of the tank now apart from, you know, the blackness. Again, the plants are going to grow in that area, so it just looks way better in my opinion. Now, one thing that doesn't look better and is really annoying me is the whiteness of that middle one that I've done. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of the slightly more yellower sand on the top. It just looks unnatural in my opinion. Also, it's always bright. Like, I've got to turn the settings down to that so that it looks half decent. Then everything else looks really drab. there we go. That's looking a lot more natural in my opinion. Now, it's not going to massively matter anyway, to be honest, because once we get the cories in there, they're going to stir everything up. It's all going to go everywhere. Not putting the cories in straight away, of course. I just want the electric blue Acara to start with, and then we can add fish as we go along. So next up, we can get some more plants in that back section. I've got a massive plant that I want to use from my discus tank, Hygrophila compacta. It's going to look great in that back section. So for those of you that don't know, this is my discus tank. This is Hygrophila compacta. Look at the size of it. I read compacta when I bought this and I thought small. No, I was wrong. It just means it grows like, you know, tight together. But that's going to look great in that background section. It looks cool in the front here, but it definitely needs cutting back. I might as well bring it right down. And then we've got an awesome background plant for the other tank straight away. And this one's got time to grow back out again for all the discus. Because as you can see, it's way too big in this tank at the moment. It's taking up so much room. There we go, look, here's what I've got. There's my hand for comparison. We've got some awesome looking plants here. And the good thing is they're all covered in little baby snails, which means there'll be a snail population ready to go in the new tank. I love snails. Lots of people don't like them, think they're a pest. For me, they just make your tank better. But what I want to do is just take off some of the bottom leaves like you see here. Just break them off like that and do that on all of them. I can put them together then, and then we can put some plant weights and filter floss around the bottom, and it'll just help to keep them anchored down into the sand just whilst the roots are really sort of gripping in. Yeah, this is really simple. Filter floss, wrap it around those stems, leaving a little bit down below just so there's some space for the roots to come out, and then just push it into one of the plant weights. Lots of people ask where I get these plant weights from. When you buy plants in a shop, sometimes they're in the bottom of the pot. So I've just saved them, and I've got like 100 of them. And then I'm just pushing them gently into the sand. I'm not really covering the weights or anything, just letting them rest there. And that'll be enough. The roots will make their way down through the sand and into the aqua soil that we've got beneath. Yes, there we go. Now it's murky, but it does look like that back section could just keep going on forever, doesn't it? That pathway all the way through there. So I don't want to add a huge amount more plants to the back because these things grow big in no time. You know, we want to keep some swim room back there as well. I just want some stems in this back corner here. I mean, the Hygrophila compacta is stems, but fast growing stems. Limnophila sessiliflora is the one I want to put there. It looks like kabumba, but it isn't because that's just crazy hard for me to grow. I don't know why, it just doesn't grow well. So I'm going to use the Limnophila in there. That'll swoop over, grow fast, it will keep great water conditions as well.
So it's now the next day since we put all the plants in. I put a little sort of power head in overnight just to clear the water a bit, and it's looking pretty good, to be honest. It will need another full water change now, and while the water's down, there's something I want to do. Actually, there's a few things I want to do.
So although we've got the aqua soil underneath the sand, we've got some heavy root feeders here, and a lot of them, like Amazon swords, big roots on them. So I want to add in some root tabs so we can target feed them. I'm just going to randomly dot them all over the tank, covering most of the areas where the big plants are. Really easy to do, just get some pincers, push them in nice and deep. And then the next thing I want to do is add some moss for a bit more detail. Here I've got Crispus Moss. Now this stuff looks so good, even like in the state it's in now, but once it grows in, it looks even better. I'm not going crazy with it, just a little key focal points in the foreground here. Keep on top of the trimming, it's going to look great. I've found the best way to attach the moss is just to do teeny tiny little dabs of cyanoacrylate glue over the area you want to glue the moss to. If you use small little dabs, it means when you press the moss on top, it doesn't seep through, you can't see it, and it's not ugly at all then. Oh, loving that. The mosses really have sort of added an extra layer of detail. Really pleased that I went for that. I was a bit debating it because it's not strictly, you know, from that area, but it's a fish tank at the end of the day. It doesn't matter, does it? Right, one thing I do want to do, see that back section there? The whole thing, look, is very, very green. We need a red focal point, but I don't want it in your face red. I want it sort of in the background area. So this gap here, I've got an awesome plant. I can shift this one along, look, so it goes into this gap, and then I'm going to have a space there for an awesome bit of Ludwigia that I've got. So down in this tank, look, this is just a plant storage tank. I've got that Ludwigia repens at the back there. That looks so good, doesn't it? There's even growing up the water at the moment. But right in that background area, it's not so red that it's just going to sort of take away from the scape, because there's more oranges. It's only the bit that's really close to the light that's red. And that will probably be the case in the new aquarium as well. So I'm going to transfer that one over. If it didn't work, I can always put it back.
Well, I thought that was going to turn out good, but your eyes can play tricks on you. You think you know what's going to look good, you do it, it doesn't, but absolutely loving that. Perfect. It looks like it's been there for years as well, because I've had it grown in that other tank. It's already submerged, and it's got that merging of colours as well that looks so good. I'm so happy.
So that's everything done. It's just perfect. Right, I can put the filter across. So what I did was I put this as the filter for this tank that I had running previously. Look, you can see it runs down and goes in. Now I moved it across because if I just kept it in here, all the bacteria would die. But now, because we've got a load of fish in this tank, they are providing bacteria. They are providing food, sorry, for the bacteria to survive. So all I've got to do is shift it across, and then straight away we can put the blue Acaras in. How are you guys doing anyway? You good? I see that your plants have grown back over again already. Yes, yes, yes. It won't be long. Oh, I can't wait to put them in there. It's going to be so cool. I still felt like the pathway was missing something, so I added in even more detail. Oh, look at that right there. You see how much of a difference that's made? Like, to me, that looks real now. That's how it would sort of lie. You've got to just sort of merge everything a little bit more. Sometimes if you just have that completely clear sand path, it just doesn't look right. Whereas that, you can see there's some sort of smoothness to the middle line, but it's all, you know, real and merging and looking great. Oh, right, filter across.
Right, it's been a couple of hours since I turned the filters on, and it is looking, oh, it's looking so good.
Check that out. Is that not like the most crystal clear water you've ever seen? There's like nothing in it. I used some API AccuClear. It's not a sponsored post or anything, it's just amazing stuff. Look at that. Any floating dust particles, it like sort of clogs them and just filters them out. Looks insane. But guess what? We can now put the fish in. It is your time, guys. Right, let's get this lid off. I think I'm going to need to take everything out, to be honest. Well, I think they should wait around because they think I'm going to feed them, and they're not scared of me at all. So it could be an easy catch, this. We're going to have to put the camera down though.
Right, I've just taken out all the floating plants, so that should make this all a little bit easier, but they've never seen this net before, so they're probably going to freak out. Come on, you're the female, I think, aren't you? This is difficult. Nope, gone. I'm gonna have to take everything out, never mind. Right, everything's out, but we've clouded the water right up, but that's okay, not to worry. I'll tell you what, I might just even get my bigger net. I don't want to hurt them or damage them. Oh, 2 in 1, perfect. There we go. Oh, this is working good, it's working good, nice and smoothly. Whoa, chill guys, chill. Right, it's just a female left, and she is behind the filter. Come on, girl, come to the front. There we go, nice and steady. I don't want to spook her. Oh, there's a little feeding bowl there, I forgot about that. Gotcha. Right, that went absolutely perfectly. I've got the fish here. Now the temperature of their tank is the same as the one that they're going in. This whole room is heated to the same temperature, so that's why you're probably not seeing any heaters or anything.
Right guys, it's time to release you into your new home. Let's do this. Oh, I'm so excited. Interesting to see what they do straight away, really. Right. Dipping them in. Again, there's no need to temperature acclimate, we're all good. Right, let them come out in their own time, I'm not going to pour them. Go on then, go on. Whee, they're not going to be really coloured up to start with. I don't think it's going to take long. Look at that shimmer effect, that looks so good, doesn't it? Okay, straight away this one's going to go for some cover. I think that's the smaller one of the two. There's a male there for sure. Again, they're staying still, they're going to try and suss the surroundings out. I didn't see where the third one went, but they'll be around here somewhere. Now, it might be the case that these guys eat all of these plants. And if they do, so be it. Oh God, he's on the move, he's on the move. Where are you going? Just exploring, look at that. So I love the way that it's not full of like fine stem plants. I went for the bigger stem, the bigger sort of swords and things, and there's loads of different places for them to go down into. They're going to feel really safe and comfortable. And normally, when there's lots of places for a fish to hide and feel comfortable in, you actually see them more, like than when you try and shove them right in the foreground. I mean, that isn't so much the case with these guys here. They're just all this right here, ready for me to feed them at any time. Whoa, whoa, calm, calm, calm. It's quite cool actually, isn't it? Because we've now got the South American and the Amazon. It's like, you know, a theme, isn't it? Some time went by and I didn't see the fish anywhere. Now this wasn't really expected. Right, the good news is it's been an hour, they found each other. The bad news is they're hiding right round the back here. Where's this one? Oh, so they are right in this section at the back. You can just about see them sort of swimming around in the background there. Out you come, I know you can see me. You can come further than that, surely. Everyone wants to see you. Oh, someone's being brave. Be brave. Be brave, guys. Yes, there you go. You're getting more get in there. We're getting there. Come on. And then just like that, as if I'd started to regain their trust again, they began coming forwards. Okay, so there was one last thing that I wanted to do to the tank, and that was just put in some of the floating plants. This is Salvinia, and straight away the fish seem to be like being a lot more secure and happy. Look, I'm doing tapping on the glass here right up close to them, and they're coming closer and following me now. Just a minute ago I did this as well off camera, and all of them come forwards. Guys, where's the rest of you? Well, you are very interested though, aren't you, fella? Eh? You shall be my new favourite. No, we can't have favourites. I'm sorry. I love you just as much as the rest of them. But that is a good tip in general. New setups, stick a handful of Salvinia in. They're going to pull any like nitrates, nitrites, or ammonia, to be honest, out of the water column to grow, because they'll all use that as a food source. It's just really good practice for any new setup, and it means that we should be off to a flyer. You are so stunning, aren't you?
So I'm really happy that the fish are getting more and more comfortable. It's going to be a few more sessions of feeding, a few more days before they're real coming to the front of the glass again like they were before. You've got to build that trust back up, haven't you? Because, you know, they trusted me, and now this is the guy that snatches us out and puts us in strange places. But it's okay, we can work on that. I can get them back in no time. If you're interested in seeing further updates, make sure you hit subscribe and like button, and I'll see you on the next one. These guys are going to get better and better, and the tank is going to evolve. It's going to look great. We're going to add more fish as well.